But I remember, my mother would just scoot us out of the house, give my brother and me a quarter each or whatever it was, and just say, "Get out of town." And we'd take the streetcar downtown, and we'd stay there for 4 or 5 hours, and then take the streetcar back, and it was so much fun. You could actually walk to the Central Business District, take the 8th Street Tunnel or the 8th Street Incline into Kansas City, Kansas.
We had the Boulevard Cafe down where La Bodega is, everybody, man, that was ghetto land down there when we opened that restaurant. I mean, shit, man, that was 20-something years ago. That was not the general little hipster West Side. That was like, weird guys getting off the train.
And I remember picking up kids to go to different programs that my mom would sign us up for. We would come up on a bus. We'd pick a few kids up here in this neighborhood. So I saw it, but I don't really remember as a child what it looked like. I was saying about my memory. So when I came to work here 15 years ago, even our building looked different than what it looks like today, and
we came from that point of a small building owner preserving an individual building and preserving the history and the integrity of the building and not just tearing it down.
And then you get the interstate system that eviscerated the neighborhood. So the neighborhood was cut off from the rest of, the Central Business District, from Midtown, and essentially from Crossroads.
Shit, man, that was 20-something years ago.
even our building.
That was not
Preserving
just
the
neighborhood
hipster West
cut
Side. That
off
was like
preserving
from the rest
history
of
and the building.
experience this renaissance in Kansas City that's happening right now.
As soon as you turn the corner right there, that you're entering my neighborhood. So I want it to slow down, and I want it to be residential.
So I could see a portion of it being residential. I wouldn't want it too high, but I'm not necessarily opposed to multi-story.
I guess I said I'd hate to see an office building. I wouldn't mind seeing a tall office building on the north side of that property that gave more lunchtime traffic to that area.
I wouldn't mind something of the scale of the Performing Arts Center being further up the street, kind of like slam it down to this more gentle entry into the...
Of those two lists that would go away, would it be able to come back in that area? Either a place like them or somebody like them to be able to open up and have that opportunity to have like a wonderfully new space.
I think you really need a streetscape, no matter what you do, even if they tear down everything.
Screenland, the Ice House, and those parking structures that are there, you gotta keep that stuff, man.
I would for sure leave those two lights here, and I'd probably leave this thing next door because it's full of 3 or 4 storefronts that have...
Always deface your streets with something that creates activity.
That kind of young people lifestyle, people out at night, people on the streets. We need that so bad down here, sort of in general.
Because it's a pretty drastic hill. If you cut out in that a little bit, some terracing, and you can double use that, that'll be a natural place for people to congregate.
I certainly think that you should build something interesting there.
Kind of a film center for kids. I mean, cameras are cheap.
There is no grocery store, and I think that would be great.
But I just think, continue on with the sciences. We don't have enough.
Streetscape. So I think you really need a streetscape.
Film center for kids. Things
And
drive to understand the community. You should remember it's important to convey information to regular people. If you're doing community-based work, you can miss the boat by not knowing how to communicate with regular folks. Because if we have a certain vocabulary,
people being able to somehow connect. It doesn't have to be monetary, but just some kind of gesture. Because I would hate for something to be built when nobody, or something to be developed and nobody made that attempt to try to reach to the neighborhood or the community. And if they want to there's certain people that want to really be involved in the decision making of what happens.
Start to pay attention because they walk their dog. You know, it's when you walk your dog, or if you're a jogger, or if you're someone who has to walk to the corner to buy the newspaper. Those kinds of things. Those are the activities that are what it's about, and designed for that end is the greater goal, I think.
And be vocal about it. That's the only way we got Seasons 52 to change their plans, So I think that whatever happens here, people have to keep an eye on it, people have to be involved in it. Those people who feel that we shouldn't tear down the buildings, they should be vocal. Those people who feel that we should put something, interesting there architecturally, which is what I think is going to happen, need to be vocal. But I also think it's extreme.
People start to pay attention because they walk their dog. It's
Try to understand community. And that's one reason why I like working with Josh and Rob. That's the same way to get to try to actualize